Hello everyone. I'm Peshawa, PhD candidate at the University of Debrecen. Um, Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to present my research, which is an extension of the previous one about two groups, refugee and host community students, with some new details and new results. My research is a comparison of in-class student engagement and school environment between refugee and host community students. This is the biography of the authors. Um, so let's start with the introduction. As you learned from the title that the research is about the in-class involvement of students among two groups. One of them is refugees, so that means displaced students and host community people. The case of displaced education is for a long time have been researched. It was started after the Cold War. Displacement education starts somehow, and later many people were displaced at that time. Different NGOs were working on the displacement education, and after years, with the rise of conflicts everywhere around the world, displacement education became uh, something like a must that um, and later in UNICEF, OECD, World Bank, uh, they have their own uh, attempts uh, to encourage and to uh, support displacement education as a human right. Here in this research, the main focus is on the in-class engagement as three elements that we have, which are listening, preparation, and participation. And later, also the influence of environments also uh, discussed. So, what do we mean by class preparation? Class preparation has different also elements, and it means some different points like reviewing what has been covered in the class by the students and arriving in time or early for the class and anticipate what's coming in the class, and like being organized and to be able to formulate questions and comments. uh, it's a kind of preparation. Of course, it's more than that as well, but for here, that's enough. And in literature, it has been investigating a lot by the researchers, and it's proved that class preparation is essential for successful participation, even for academic achievement. And also, the other element is active listening, and it comprised of paying attention fully and having feedback, intent to learn, and the minimal distraction while uh, working in the class or attending in the class. Again, being like having active listening is related to, in literature it has been proved that uh, it relates to better learning and better achievements. So sometimes these both these two elements, I mean preparation and listening, according to literature, it it affects participation as well. I mean, engagement in the class and having a like being able to uh, express the ideas and coming up with new ideas. So it's also proved that uh, participation has a powerful impact on academic achievement in literature. Uh, this study consists of 193 participants. They are grade 9 and 8 students, both from both two groups, as I said earlier, host community and refugees. For the host community, 104 participants and 89 participants for the refugees. The research questions, we have three main research questions here. The first question is, are the differences between host community students and Syrian refugee students regarding in-class engagement? And are the differences between community students and refugee students regarding school environment? And the third question is, are there any associations between in-class engagement and school environment? Okay, so for investigating the research questionnaire, it was quantitative method was used, and a questionnaire as a tool was used to collect the data. And the questions usually had 5 scale Likert type options to be chosen by the participants, and it was conducted in public schools, in local and camp schools. So I have to say that the context of the research was Kurdistan region in Iraq and from Soleimani province. So those schools, they were chosen, they were local and camp schools in that province among grade 8 and 9 students. So all of them, they were public schools uh, in there, and the grade was 8 or 9, and it was for ethical consideration. Anonymity of the students was taken into consider, and everyone was. It was like ensured. Everyone was ensured that their name will be anonymous. And after collecting the data, SPS is used as a tool for analyzing the data, the uh, given data, the data we had. Uh, the results, it was the following. For the class preparation, because we have for the in-class engagement, we have 3 elements: preparation, active listening, and participation. For the class preparation, the test shows that significant differences between the host students and refugee students. Of course, t-test was used, and it was significant. The significant was the p-value was 0.001. And regarding the active listening, there was not significant differences between the two groups, so no significant was found. But the other element, which was class participation, uh, it was found that the difference between those two groups, it was significant as well, and the p-value was 0.004. So that means it was strongly significant. Yeah, as it can be seen here in the table, maybe it's clearer. It was the first objective or the first goal, the first question of the research was to find differences between the two groups regarding the in-class engagement. As it can be seen, the number of host community students was 104, and the refugee students was 89. The mean is 2.6 for the host, but for the refugees 3.3, and standard deviation is 1.30 for host community students and 1.31 for the refugees. And the mean difference is here, the t-value, and as you see the p-value, it was significant. But for listening, it was not. As you see, it's 0.08, and for participation, it's here, the color is yellow, and as it's seen, it was significant at the level of 0.5. And again, the test was used. It was showed that statistically differences between school environment components was also found. So before saying that it was significant or not, I have to say that school environment here, we categorize it as two different environment. One of them is social environment, and the other is physical environment. Social environment, I mean the relationship between students themselves and teacher-student relationship. That was categorized as social environment. And a physical environment is the building, the physical building of the school. So the test shows that there were differences, as you see. There was statistically significant difference regarding student-teacher relationship between the host students and refugee students. The p-value was 0.02. Considering the physical environment of the school, there was a significant difference between the two groups, but no significant difference were found between the two groups of students regarding student-student relationships. So the three elements that was investigated for environment difference in environment, it was found that teacher-student relationship is different between the two groups, and the physical or the buildings was different according to the students, but student-student relationship was not. As you see in the table, it could be clear. Here, maybe it's clear as you see that the p-value for teacher-student relationship shows significant and the environment as well. So that was the answer for the second question of the research question. And to answer the third question of the study, Pearson correlation coefficient test was conducted. For the previous ones, only t-test was used, but this time Pearson correlation coefficient test was used, and it was hypothesized that there are relationships between elements of in-class student engagement and school environment. So to find if there is a relationship between in-class engagement elements and school environment, Pearson correlation coefficient test was used. And the result indicate that there is no positive, that there was low positive correlation between being prepared for class and class participation, which was it was also strong. It was also significant and low positive correlation between preparation and listening. So, in addition to all to these, also low positive correlation between preparation of students and teacher-student relationship was found. So that means preparation related to social environment of the schools, but no significant correlation was found between the other items. As you see here in the table, preparation was correlated with listening and participation and student-teacher relationship. So it could be a better student-teacher relationship influence better preparation, or better preparation influence student-teacher relationship positively, because the relationship, the association are positive. And listening also had association with participation. As you see in the table, there were positive correlation between those two variables. So as conclusion or implications of the research, it was found that the level of engagement of the two groups were different, and student and host community students are different in class engagement, especially for preparation and participation. And also there were positive association between preparation for class and in-class activities and listening and participation. The relationship between host and refugee students with their teachers is different between those two groups that we investigated. In contrast, the difference regarding relationship with the classmates were not different. And there is low positive correlation between preparation for class and student-teacher relationship. I would say there could be suggestions for further research, because this one was quantitative. It could be more researches in detail with qualitative method can be used to explore more about in-class engagement, and there could be more external internal factors that influence satisfaction of students regarding environment of the schools, and maybe the role of parental involvement with the in-class engagements relations. It could be investigated and tell us more in the future. So that was the the presentation about my research, and thank you so much.